All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be going over Blue Doffy. And I am recording this video on December 25th, so Merry Christmas everyone, Happy Holidays to everybody, and let's get right into this video. Let's have some fun with it. So this is a leader, this is one of my favorite leaders in the game right now, to be honest guys. It's very powerful, it's very fun to play. It has that mid-range element that I absolutely love with the you know, the amounts of, you know, a little bit of control in there as well. It's just such a very powerful leader, guys. This is the fourth leader we're going over in this competitor series. We have now gone over Purple Luffy, Blackbeard, and Red Shanks. I will link those in the comment section of this video for you guys to check those out if you've not already seen them. But yeah, let's get into this, guys. Without any further ado, you know, it's going to be the exact same formatting as the previous three competitor series videos, okay? Remember, these are meant to be more meta flavored decks. You know, these decks are basically the top ones in the format, right? So that's kind of this is a different direction for the channel, right? Not that we're changing completely, but, you know, usually we go over the more off-meta stuff, the fun rogue stuff. We try to make leaders work that usually don't, or we can't figure out, or something like that. We always try to make that work. But I like to have a little bit of something for everybody on this channel, guys, whether you're a new player, experienced player, casual player, tournament player, whatever. So this is meant for the more competitive players, but I'm hoping it will help the casual players get better as well at either A, learning how to play these decks, or B, learning how to play against them. Or I guess C, maybe learning how to make decks as well, seeing the synergies that are in decks like this one in particular. Blue Doffy has a lot of synergy in it, guys. We're going to talk about that as soon as we get into the deck list. Now, let's get into this video. I'll have everything timestamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. And let's do this, guys. It will be the same format as the last three, where we go over the deck list first, then we hop over to 5 games on the sim, and then we finish up by, you know, kind of talking about it. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it. We'll move on from there. Okay, that's how we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description. Hang out with us on there. We're talking about One Piece 24/7, guys. It's a good time for everybody. Now, let's get into the deck list real quick. So first things first, let me move this leader screen, and let me move my head out of the way. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is the list. Let me load it in real quick just so you can see. This is the leader. Pause and read this if you don't know what this does. It's very important that you pause and read this and really have it soak into your mind on how this leader works if you're new to this deck. I'm going to remove it for now so we have this all on 2 perfect lines here, and we're going to go through it real quick. So this list right here, guys, we're running 4 Edward Weevil, 4 Perona, 3 Charlotte Pudding, 2 Croc... Sorry, guys, I should have been going over the whole time. Let me do it like this so you guys can pause and read it if you need to. So 4 Edward Weevil, 4 Perona, 3 Charlotte Pudding, 2 of the 2K Counter Crocodile, 4 Jimbei. Of course, this is like an all-star in the deck, by the way, guys. This card's very important. 4 Sengoku, 2 Trafalgar Law, 4 Jozu, 3 Gecko Moria, 2 of the 2K Counter Mihawk, 4 Trafalgar Law, 4 Buggy, 4 Boa Hancock, 2 Red Rock, I was called a Red Hawk, 2 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, and 2 Perfume Femur. Now, real quick, guys, we're not going to talk about any kind of substitutions. We will talk about other cards you can include in the deck. Like, for example, I do want to, just right away, I want to talk about Marshall D. Teach. There are other cards you can include in the deck, but I will say this, the cards you see on the screen here, number one, this is not a super expensive deck. In fact, I think it's right around $100. We'll look at that in a second. But number two is this list is... It can really only function in this way other than moving a few cards around we'll talk about in a minute. So speaking of the price, guys, I do want to show y'all, like, check this out, guys. Let me go full screen with this. Check this out, guys. This list for the list we're looking at right now is from Fibo. This was a 3rd place list, December 21st, for the Booster Box Treasure Cup Online. Look at this list, guys, $105. It is absolutely incredible, and they do run the Marshall D. Teach. They're running 2 Perfume Femurs. They're running 2 Grav Blades, so they don't have to, you know, they're not even running Red Rock. In fact, they're probably kind of considering this a Red Rock because, like, oh, how do I get around 10 cost Blackbeard? I'll just become unblockable, right? Perfect. Or 10 cost Teach, you know, in the Blackbeard deck. But everything else, guys, is pretty similar to my list. I didn't really copy a list. I kind of just came up with my own. But, hey, 4 Peronas, 4 Sengokus, 4 Buggies. These 12 1-drops we're about to talk about, a lot. Notice the price on Perona, guys. Perona, Jinbei, and Weevil, that is most of this deck's cost. In fact, it probably is literally around 50+% of it. But hey, these three searchers right here, these three one-cost characters, very, very important. We'll talk about those more in a minute. Marshall D. Teach, also very, very important. Dracula Mihawk, he's running 4 of them, and he's running 4 of the 2K counter Crocodile, 4 Edward Weevil, 4 Jinbei, 4 Trafalgar Law that bounces, 4 Boa, 3 Charlotte Pudding, 3 Jozu. I also got my idea from for Jozu from, I think, from lists from either on the Sim or in the West, or excuse me, or in the East or something like that. But Jozu, I'm a big fan of. Notice how low to the ground this deck runs. I'm a huge fan of this list, guys. Really good stuff here. So now let's go ahead and get back to the one that I'm running. We'll talk about that. So my list is very similar, but they're running 4 Mihawks and 4 Crocodiles. And I think the way they do that, the way they're able to do that, is they removed, I think they had no Gecko Morias. Is that correct? Yeah, I don't think, they're not running Gecko Moria to bring back cards from their trash. They're trying to be way more aggressive with the tempo. They're running, so they would have -3 Gecko Morias and -1 Jozu to go up 2 Mihawks and 2 Crocodiles. And then they were also dropping 2 Red Rocks and 2 of this Trafalgar Law to go up 4 Marshall D. Teach. And I think that was pretty much their list, if I can recall it, you know, from memory. But I'm pretty sure that's what they did. But the list in and of itself is very straightforward. I do like the Gecko Moria, and I think this provides massive ways to, how do I say this? Basically, like, keep the deck going. It's like you're, after going through the entire wave of, like, Jinbei into Boa or Weevil into Bounce Laws and all this, it gives you that second wind, right? So like, okay, I'll play this down and get another Jinbei, and then I'll, you know, do a top 5 search here, do this, that, bounce things around, blah, blah, blah. It just becomes very powerful. So let me talk about how the way this deck works real quick, guys. 4 Peronas, 4 Sengokus, and 4 Buggy. Those one-cost cards are massive in this list, guys. Number one, you play them out early, right? So you always have a early play, typically speaking, especially if you're running the Marshall D. Teaches. By all means, run this card if you want to, guys. I think it's very powerful. I just don't prefer to run it. I have a different style that I play, but I still think this card is very good, and I've been wanting to include 2 of these in my deck. I want to include 2 of these in the deck, you know, basically for, how do you say it? Like, I want to include these 2 to help with the Blackbeard matchup. So one thing I might do at some point is maybe drop down a Jozu and drop down 1 Gecko Moria and go up 2 Teaches there. And then who knows, maybe I'll take the advice of this, you know, the last deck we just looked at, drop the Red Rocks and then go up the other 2 Teaches. We'll have to see how that goes. But long story short, guys, you always have this early play with these one-cost characters, and they help set up your deck for success in the early and mid game. And then check this out, guys, you're going to bounce those back to your hand. So it's like, oh man, you know, once this card's on the board, it's kind of worthless. Not literally, it can help attack blockers and stuff, but no, it's actually so good because you're not even going to swing with it if you can help it. Just leave it on the board, and then you can bounce it back to your hand with cards like Trafalgar Law or Jozu, and then bounce your opponent's characters off the board and steal all the tempo and momentum back in that way. It is very, very strong, guys. It is something I would definitely look into. This card in particular, with these one-cost cards like Perona, Buggy, and Sengoku, it generates so much card advantage for us because it lets us set the top card of our deck or draw cards, and then you're pulling it back, so it's like you just drew for free and you bounce the card off the board. Extremely, extremely powerful interactions there, guys. Definitely keep that in consideration. Okay, so then next, so again, Trafalgar Law and Jozu, they're kind of the enforcers in this deck. They just push things out of the way. The one-cost stuff helps you set up your early game with the Perona, the Sengoku, and the Buggy. And then you have this entire mid-game package of just beaters in the form of Jinbei flooding the board into Weevils and Boa Hancock. Those are 6K bodies that are very, very hard to deal with. Like I already said, Gecko Moria is there to just kind of replenish your hand, help you get utility cards out of your trash. Like, oh, you need another 2K counter while developing a body. Okay, well, maybe play Jinbei into Gecko, grab back a 2K counter. Very strong. The 2K counter package, you can run how you want to. I prefer going 2 Mihawk, 2 Crocodile, 2 Trafalgar Law. But some people are running even more 2K counters than that. Because, I mean, I still have Buggy, but that's only 10 2K counters. Some people drop the Geckos and go up to 2K counters, apparently. Or maybe some other things as well. But that's one route you could go. But I like having the Gecko Moria, so that way, okay, if I need the extra 2K counter, I can just grab it back from my trash. Or if I'm in a commanding position, I'll just grab a Jinbei and just cheat out more cards and just flood the board in that way. So hopefully that made sense. What else? The one of the unsung heroes in the deck is definitely Charlotte Pudding. This card can just ruin your opponent's game plan and ruin their day and everything. It is a very strong card. It's another option to bounce back with your Law and Jozu if you need to, but it's just a very solid card for what we're trying to do. It's also very strong into the Nami matchup, potentially, depending on how you're playing and how how the game's going. Red Rock, Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, and Perfume Femur, they're all in here. They're just utility tech cards. You can move these around as much as you want to. And that's it, guys. That's the list. Nothing too crazy. If you have any questions about that, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comments section below. But that's the list for the, for what I'm running, what you'll be seeing in today's video. If you want to move a few cards around, by all means, say something. But remember, guys, we didn't really go over, like, budget options because, number one, there really aren't any budget options because the entire list is built in a certain way and it's already budget as is. So if you're wanting to try to get into this deck, I would definitely, go about it this way. Okay, guys, like I would just grab it, I would go for it the way you see it, make your revisions, and buy as is. I wouldn't try to make substitutions or replacements because it's already cheap enough, like I was saying, and the deck functions so well with the package you see on the screen right here. The way that this functions, guys, is extremely, it works out very, very well. Okay? All right, now, let's go ahead and get into these games on the sim. Okay, let me hop over to that. There we go. Let me go full screen. Okay. All right. Okay, so first game up, guys, we have against Shanks, and the order in which we'll be playing today's games is going to be red Shanks into purple Luffy, into blue Nami, into Blackbeard, into red purple Luffy. Those 5 games. Okay, so we got some spicy games lined up. Speeds on 2x, volumes off. Here we go. Let's do this, guys. Now, like I was saying, guys, this leader is actually so fun to play. I know, okay, look at that hand, triple Sengoku. If I was going second, I would have considered keeping that hand, actually. But going first, like, no, I'd rather go for a Buggy or a Perona. We hit the Perona. Notice how I set my cards. So when you're setting these cards in the sim, guys, understand you're setting the very far left card will be on the top. Right, that will be on the top, and then the other one will be on the bottom. Okay, the one on the other end, the Perfume Femur down here, that will be on the bottom. Now, you need, this is the hardest part about playing this deck, guys. If you're a newer player or if you're getting into Doffy for the first time, the hardest part about playing this deck is making sure you set your top 5 cards in a way that will be good for your leader effect and in a way you can remember. Okay, so that's the hard part. So here we go. So we put the Perona out. We set our cards like this. So that means next turn I'm going to grab a 2K counter Crocodile, and then I'm going to play out a Jozu, cheating out either a Crocodile, a Gecko Moria, or a Boa Hancock. It's up to me. It's up to my decision there based on what we see on the board. Okay. All right. So that's how I'm going to set it. And now it's my opponent's turn. They're going to go to 2 Dawn, and let's see, this version of Shanks is actually running the 1-cost Searcher Uda. Some are running it, some are not. So here we go, guys. We already know this play, and here we go. Major interaction here. Pause. Don't worry. Hang on. We're about to hit some layers, what would they call this, like tables when it comes to resolution. I'm attacking with my leader, which is a win attacking effect. The win attacking effect will resolve first, but the first layer, the first table that is open is the win attacking and the on opponent's attack from the opposing leader, Shanks. So watch how this happens. I swing for 7. My win attacking effect will resolve first, putting a Jinbei into play that wants to resolve an on play effect. It's not his turn yet. That opens another table under the win attacking and on opponent's attack effect. So the Jinbei will not get to do his on-play effect first. Now what's going to happen is the Shanks player will have the option to use his leader effect on an opponent's attack to drop my leader or character down by 1,000 power. Let's see if they do that. Okay. They choose to do that. Now that table has been resolved. The win attacking is done. The win opponent's attack is done, or the on opponent's attack is done. Now the on-play, the second layer, the second table can now resolve, allowing my Jinbei to use an on-play effect. The on-play effect is going to be a Boa Hancock, which is going to go into another on-play effect. That on-play effect will be able to attach another Dawn to my leader before damage has resolved. So that will buff my leader back up to a 7. Do you guys see what happened there? Hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, again, put those in the comment section below, guys. So so we're going to swing in here, or we swung in. So again, just to summarize, I swung for 7. Then I cheat out the Jinbei, but before the Jinbei can resolve, the Shanks is going to drop my power by 1,000. Okay, that happens. Now, before damage resolves, the on-play from Jinbei resolves, cheating out the Boa Hancock. Her on-play resolves before damage, setting my top 3 cards and attaching a free Dawn to my leader, buffing me back up to 7. Then the damage can actually take place. Okay, so here we go. And this would be their chance to counter out before the damage takes place. Very complicated, but it is important to know how that works in this specific matchup. Okay, they're going to swing for 5. We're going to get a free block there with Boa. They're going to play out Lucky Roo. I wish I had a 4-cost Trafalgar Law, because that would have made my life a lot easier. Right, guys? The 4-cost Trafalgar Law would have made my life a lot easier. That's okay. We already knew what was coming. We had set that there. We're going to cheat out another Boa, swing in for 7. He drops the power down of my Jinbei instead of my leader. Well, bad news. Now my on-play effect is going to happen from Boa, and I'm going to attach the free Dawn to the Jinbei. Okay, so we kind of completely played around his leader effect. And like I said, guys, if I had a 4-cost Trafalgar Law, this turn would have been absolutely beautiful then, too. But that's okay. Either way, we got him for 7. He KOs my Boa Hancock with the Lucky Roo's effect. He's going to swing 7 into 5. It's very tempting to counter out here, but I only have 5 cards in hand, guys. I don't think it's the right call to counter out there, so I don't. He has another Lucky Roo to slow me down, and I don't have the card, the Trafalgar Law that I need to try to get through here. So I swing him for 6. Let's see what he does. He doesn't get greedy at all here, but he's going to minus 1,000 to my leader effect. I'm going to cheat out of Jinbei. I already had all this set up from my searching, right, guys, from my top 3 searches and my top 5 search early on. Remember, guys, one of the most, if not the most important parts about running this deck properly is setting up your top cards of your deck so that you can cheat them into play in consecutive turns, right? That's very important to do with Perona, 3 costs, Perona, Boa, and the Buggy, okay? So here we go. This is why Jinbei is so strong. So all those Lucky Roos that he just used, I just got my entire board back and negated pretty much everything he just did. My board is completely full now. My hand is still pretty decent. I have 5 cards, but where are my 2K counter? I do have 1 2K counter there. Okay, they're going to pop that, and there's another 2K counter. So now we're really doing pretty well. We're still at 5 life, guys. We're in a very strong position. Okay, hey, there's my 4-cost Trafalgar Law. That would have been nice earlier, right? But hey, now I barely even need it. I think I might still cheat it out. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Looks like I'm going to, but I'm not going to really do much with it. So we're going to swing for 6, and we're just going to beat in here, guys. So swing for 6, swing for 6. I'm just eating his hand alive. He did -1 to the Gecko Moria. Okay, well, I'm still going to swing for 6 with it. And let's see, yeah, right here, he's just going to give up. He's out of counter power. He has 1K counter in hand. He does have a 2K left in his life, but look at what's going on, guys. I have 5 life. I have a full board, and I'm still going to cheat a character out this turn, replacing the Perona, pulling back the other Perona. In fact, what I probably would have done there is just played out the Perona again, if needed, just to set up the things I want, if digging 1 card deeper. Really good stuff, though. Very powerful deck. This matchup is probably not impossible either way. I think Shanks can do well. I think Doffy can do well into each other. But, it feels like Doffy's slightly favored to me, guys. You tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Now, so that's against Shanks. Next game up, that was Shanks. So now we got a game versus Purple Luffy. Okay, let's go full screen. Volume is already off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go. We got a game versus Purple Luffy. Going first against Purple Luffy is a major advantage because Purple Luffy does like to turn on... They go pedal to the metal as well, especially when they can go first. So Perona, we have a perfect start to set our cards here. We're going to swing for 7, cheat out the Mihawk. And now let's see what he does. He takes it very greedily. Who knows? Maybe he didn't have enough cards in hand. He's going to swing for 5. I have to let it go because I don't want to give up my Jinbei. But watch this, guys. 8 cards in hand, down to 5 cards in hand. And we're swinging 6 over the blocker. Your turn. He had to give me a 2K counter. That must have been painful. And let's see what he gets from the Law. He gets another 2K counter. Guys, this matchup, if you can get this kind of start with, like, I'm telling you, Charlotte Pudding just changed everything in this game. And look at this, guys. I'm not even playing 7 Warlords right now, practically. Right? I mean, I am. But look at that. So I did cheat out a Mihawk early on after the Perona effect. But then I went Perona, trash your hand, completely demolish your hand. And then next turn into Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, I'm just ripping cards off the board. it's like I'm playing a control deck all of a sudden. But then watch how I switch gears after this and just completely flood the board. It's absolutely, you know, this deck is very, very strong, guys. I'm not saying it's easy to play or anything like that, or cheap or anything, but at the same, you know, like cheap to play it, like not fair to play it or anything. I'm just saying that this deck has some very big high roll potential. Okay, he's going to play out a Zoro. I really like that I have full board control, guys. I'm probably going to take full advantage of that. So right here, swinging for 5, I'm going to 1K counter out because I don't think I'm going to need the any more puddings this game. We've got his hand size low enough already. Okay, so here we go. It looks like we're going to start smashing in here. We're going to swing for 5 to start, just to kind of test the waters. What do you want to give me? What kind of information do you want to give me? Takes it. Okay. We're going to bounce this card back to hand. Develop a 7K body, getting our searcher back, swing in for 6. Let's see what he wants to give me. He can't even 2K out. He doesn't want to use the blocker. He doesn't want to go down to 0 life, which is very wise. I have a Perfume Femur in my hand. Instead, he has to use a Gum Gum Giant to get out of a 6K attack, guys. That was brutal for him. Absolutely brutal. Okay, swing 6 into 4. You can have that. They're going to play out Luffy Taro into Sanji. Another Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. And, hey, I did set that there with Perona. I knew that was coming. I expected him to try to flood the board this turn. He got the Luffy Taro, which is unfortunate. It's less than ideal. But, hey, it is what it is. So we're going to swing in for 7. He needs to counter out of this, guys. Yeah, because otherwise I could swing in for 8 for lethal. But, hey, he had it. And now we're going to swing in for 7, cheating out the Weevil. It replaced itself already. And 8 in attack. He's swinging in for 5. I should counter out of this, in my opinion. 1K counter with the Gecko Moria. They play out Charlotte Linlin, and now they're going to bounce my Jozu to life. Of course, that was a very good play. But that's okay. We've got some... We have an idea here for our opponent. We're going to bottom deck those cards. That is not what we wanted to see. We're going to play out another Perona. We're going to put a Jinbei there. It's tempting to just play out the Weevil, but at the same time, Jinbei is going to give me more tempo, and we do need that. This game's far from over, guys. It's not over yet, right? I mean, I shouldn't say it's far from over, but it is not over. We're going to swing for 5. We're not going to cheat out the body this turn, I guess. Or actually, no, excuse me, we are. Play out the Jinbei, replacing that. Play out the Boa. I want to get in as many attacks as possible. Okay, so I think they 2K counter out of that. They're going to take this one. They're down to 0 life. So here we go. They're going to play out a Zoro. And I want to know what you guys think here, how y'all would play this. They're going to swing 7 into 5, 8 into 5, 9 into 5. I'm going to take all of that, and here we go. So watch this, guys. Some people would probably go for lethal here. Pause. I don't. I'm not saying you shouldn't. There's definitely an argument to go for lethal, because I could just go swing 7, swing 7, swing 7, and then everything unblockable on my Boa. That is absolutely an option, but I have 2 blockers. Purple Luffy's not exactly known for their removal. I have 2 blockers. I'm going to be able to attack 2 times basically for free this turn while developing other cards on the board and pushing blockers out of the way and things like that. So let's see what happens here. And honestly, I think I should push back the Zoro. I pushed back the blocker. Okay. Yeah, I think I should have pushed back the Zoro and then just gone, you know, into the face like I was saying. But that's okay. It is what it is. That was not the right play in my opinion, but that's fine. We'll swing in for 7. Okay. He needs to counter out of this. He does a Gum Gum Giant. Very good. So he's up to 5 cards. So I think we're just going to swing 5, or excuse me, we're going to swing 7 here and then just call it a day. We're going to say, okay, your turn. If I'm not mistaken. 2K, 1K. I could have tried to go 6 and 6 there to like drop 2 more cards from his hand or something. But why? Yeah, it comes back to why would I? And like another thing I was saying though is I should have bounced back the Zoro. Just push that back to hand. It's a dead card in hand now. And then I can just start, you know, forcing him to give me the block and get more stuff off the board. Okay, he's going to swing 8 into 6. You can have it. 6 into 5. I'll probably counter out of this one just to save 1 life card. Okay, and then he can smash in for 5. Okay, you can have it. I'm not even going to save an attack with my Boa. Nope, we're going to just take this, and now it's probably time to start going for lethal, right? Let's see what happens. He has 4 cards in hand. We're going to swing for 5. Every single time I attack, he has to give me a blocker or a card from hand. Okay, swing 5 more. Okay, swing for 6. Gives me a 2K. Unblockable, swing for 16. Okay, and he just leaves early. Yeah, it's over. So I'm going to swing for 16 there. So even if he had something like a, even if he had Gum Gum Giant he couldn't even use, right? Because he has only 1 card in hand. Yeah, there's just no way out of that one. Good game. He should have blocked the turn before and threatened a Gum Gum Giant. But even if he had one, it would have had to been like Gum Gum Giant into Gum Gum Giant into some 2Ks and stuff. It's just unrealistic, right? Very hard to pull off. So very aggressive. But one more thing I want to say is, guys, you could have tried to go for lethal here, but I felt like it was too, or not this turn. It was the next turn where I untapped. I think the safer play, though, one thing that I would change right away here is I think I should have played out the Trafalgar Law, bouncing the 4-cost Zoro to hand, and then swinging everything into their face the way that I did, and that would have probably got this blocker out of their hand as well, and they have a dead card Zoro in hand, and then we just go about things that way. Otherwise, you could definitely do it the way I did it, or even go for lethal. If you want to go for lethal here, you probably can get away with it, but why take the chance, right? Because I think if you were to go for lethal, the best way to do it would be attach 2 to your leader, swing for 7, attach 2 to your Jinbei, swing for 7, attach 1 to your Boa, swing for 7. So that was 5 Dawn. You still have 5 Dawn left, so you'll be able to go Perfume Femur. The final Boa is unblockable, and then 3 more Dawn on top of that, so 8 plus 3, swing for 11, unblockable. That's probably going to win you most games. I'm just saying, I went about it a way that I think was a little bit safer, but yeah, that's just me. Okay, tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, next up we have a game versus Nami. Okay, we got a game versus Nami here. Let me go speed 2x. And, you know, this leader is getting stronger and stronger. I'm talking about Nami. Yeah, like Doffy's strong too, obviously, but man, okay, pause though. All right, real quick. I was going for Charlotte Pudding. I aggressively mulligan for Charlotte Pudding against Nami. That's just the way that I do it, guys. I think that card can single-handedly win me games. Now, some games you might not even need it, by the way. Some games you might not even need it, but I feel more comfortable when I have it versus when I don't. But I will say this, I think if this is the game I'm thinking of, I do not get a great pull this game, which is unfortunate. Okay, they're going to play out the 1-cost Nami and the 1-cost Kaya. They're setting up for the late game. I don't know if Nami needed that 1-cost Nami card, guys. I don't know if that was necessary. They got the Boodle. They trashed the Boodle with the Kaya effect. Interesting. I don't know if I'd have done that, but hey, you know, nothing wrong with that. That's their choice. We're going to swing for 7 in here, cheating out the Law, pushing back the Nami so they can't get any extra cards from that. They do end up taking it, and let's see if they have any trigger. We're just waiting for them to resolve any trigger, and I don't think they do, if I remember correctly. I don't think they have one, and now it's their turn. Okay, let's see if they replay it. They're going to swing in for 5. Okay, we'll just give them a 2K. We're not going to need much counter power this game, I don't think. And then they have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Let's see what they choose to do with it. They're going to play out another Kaya. Draw 2, trash 2, getting rid of... They're running Slave Arrow in this deck. Very interesting list here. Okay. Playing out, and then trashing a White Snake as well. Playing out the Nami. Very annoying. That Nami is so annoying, guys. Okay. Then they're going to draw 2, trash 2. Again, they're trying to fix their hand right now is what they're trying to do. But here we go. Let's see what they have. We get a Crocodile. So remember, guys, Crocodile could have been used here to bounce a card back to their hand, I believe. I think it's, is it pay 1 on play, bounce a 2 cost less to the 2 cost or less to the opponent's hand. So I probably could have bounced back the Nami, but oh well. It is what it is. We ended up not doing that. Okay, we're going to swing it for 6. They have 1 Dawn left. Let's see if they want to give me a 1-cost 2K. Like Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom. They take it. Very interesting. Let's see if they get any triggers. No triggers. And then I think we're just going to load up for 7 and cheat a card out. I think it was a draw 2, trash 1, Desert Spot with Slave Arrow. So we do bounce back the 1-cost Nami. We're just pushing that card back so they can't get anything from it. And they might have just countered out with it. I can't remember if they countered out or not with it then, because I think they do later in the game. So they're going to go in for 5. I'm giving them 2K counters for these because it doesn't matter. Like I'm not saving, or I'm not letting them have this card if I can help it. One thing I will say I could have done differently this turn is I was so focused on trying to get those Namis off the board. I don't know if I should have. I think I should have just let him draw like crazy and then just use my pudding later and just bottom deck everything he just drew. But hey, it is what it is. You know, we're still doing just fine here. He does have only 2 Dawn active, so he's really tempting me to attack, which again, I don't think that's necessarily the right play. But I do pass. So again, I don't think it's the right play to attack there. Just let him draw cards. So here we go. If I had a Gravity Blade right here, I would have considered bottom decking these, but I don't know at the same time. Maybe that's not the right call either. Okay, so Crocodile. I had my mouse over Crocodile. Gonna play out the Perona. But I'll tell you what, I'm not bouncing those Kayas back to my opponent's hand. That's not happening. So I play out the Perona. I'm trying to set some cards here. We're going to swing in with a leader for probably a lot. I kind of like that. I almost swung in for like a whole bunch. So swing in for 7 instead. Let's see what he does. So we're coming in for 7 here. He's going to Desert Spot him to get to 7K. And then I think this might be where he counters out with the Nami, with the 1-cost Nami, because it's like, okay, I guess I'm just never going to get to play this card. No, they White Snake, so this is not what I was thinking. Maybe I missed it, or maybe it's coming up. But all right, here we go. He is down to 2 cards left in hand. I should just pass here, guys, or even just play out the Perona now. Or, I mean, the pudding. Just play out the pudding. That's all right. We'll swing in for 6. Let's see what he does. In fact, you know, if this is the game I'm thinking of, guys, I might not need the pudding this game. Because he's just countering out of every single thing I do. Okay. Let's see what he does here. Or let's see what they do here. They got up to 8. That's fine with me. We're just poking him, guys. Going swing 6, and now we're going to bash in for 9 with the Weevil. Okay, your turn. And I have a lot of 2K counter power in hand. He's not getting my characters. That's not happening. But let's see what he gets now. Okay, and they're on a 10 Dawn turn. They're going to play out that Nami. Okay, so they play out the Nami, swing for 5. Here's a 2K. Yep, skim that card. Trafalgar Law, you'd think would be kind of decent against this deck, and it kind of is, I guess, but at the same time, I need to keep my board. Like, having a board is very important. Okay, so here we go. He's down to 4 cards in hand. I think he's down to, 15 cards left in his deck. I really need to put on the gas here. Really, really need to put on the gas here. So we're going to swing for 6. I'm just kind of poking and prodding right now. I'm not saying this is the best way to do this matchup. I will say that right now. But given the situation, I have to start getting cards out of his hand. And at the same time, my attacks don't necessarily have to go through as much as I just need to get cards out of his hand. That might sound like weird logic, but guys, trust me, it does end up working out in the end for this game. They're going to Slave Arrow here, or Snake Dance. They're running Snake Dance and Slave Arrow. So they're always trying to bring back these cards. But here we go. So I'm going to swing in for 7. Watch this, guys. He's getting scared. He does a White Snake here, and I think he gives me a Kaya. Yeah, he gives me a 2K counter Kaya. Okay, and he has 1 more Kaya in his hand. So here we go. I'm going to swing in for 8. Let's see. He takes it, and I'm like, you know what? No trigger, by the way. And it's like, okay, I'm going to actually, instead of developing another body here, I even considered playing out the pudding, but it's like, no, let's swing for 6 and see if he gives me the other Kaya. Gives me the other Kaya, we'll take it. We do take those. Okay, so he's going to swing for 1 into 2 here. That's going to do nothing, but he does draw Sanji's Pilaf. Seems good. Seems good for him, at least. He's going to swing 5 into 2. You can have it. And he's going to play out Sanji's Pilaf. And here we go. Let's see what happens now. He's going to play out a Margaret, which did draw him a card. And I think now we're finally going to slam the pudding. He went down 1 card in hand, and we randomized his deck. So all the cards he'd been, if he was setting any cards there throughout the game, they're not set anymore. We're going to swing in for 6. And let's see what happens. He only has 4 Dawn, because he played out a Margaret and a Sanji's Pilaf. Okay, he's down to 2 Dawn. He's going to White Snake up to 6. And he's going to 1K counter out. I'm going to swing for 6 more. Again, I'm trying to get these cards out of his hand. Look at that. He had to use a 2-cost 4K to get out of a 6K attack. We'll take it. Okay. And he does still have a blocker, guys. Remember, he does still have a blocker. So what I probably should have done here... Well, I swing for 7 and 8, so that was like the best I could do. So he's going to block here. And then in this situation, I might even go into the Nami. Because I'd rather not let him set his cards. That's my logic there. Look at that. I was like, which one? I end up going to the Nami. I don't want him setting his cards, guys. I don't want to have to deal with that. Okay. His turn. 10 Dawn. He only has 4 cards left in his hand. And I think he's down to probably 8 cards left in his library. Okay, I'm not going to let him have anything right now. And here we go. Let's see what he's at. We're going to swing for 7. He's at 6 cards left. Basically, hey, you have it or you don't. And again, this was not a masterclass in how to deal with Nami, by the way, guys. This was not at all. This was something I was trying out. The better way to do it is just to play extremely passively and just hit him with 1 mega, Charlotte Pudding. Okay, so they're going to do whatever they just did there. They have 1 card in hand, all this Dawn, and I'm like, okay, what if it's like a Death Wink or something? I don't know, man. So I bottom deck that card. I swing in for 5, and then I'm going to swing in for 7. Okay, it was just a 1K. They had Sanji's Pilaf left. Good game. again, I didn't know what the last card was. Like, I thought, like, okay, what if it's a Death Wink? I'm just going to hit him with a Gravity Blade to put a 2K on the bottom to put him up to 3 cards, and we're going for it. We're going for it. It could have been something. It could have even been something like a 2-cost, what's it called? Love Beam, and then drawn into other stuff and maybe got me in that way with like a New Stops Rubber Band of Doom or something. I don't know, but whatever the case was, I thought that was the best way to do it in that situation. But looking back, guys, not having any Jinbeis, we still won. But if you have Jinbeis, that would have been much more optimal. We could have been so much more aggressive earlier on, and then we could have actually just sat behind. Instead of me having to cheat out characters from the top of my deck and allowing him to counter out, instead, you should just build up your board without attacking, and don't let them use any of their events so they can trash cards, you know, mill themselves. And then, once we're ready to attack, you leave 1 spot open on the board, and you dump a Charlotte Pudding on them, and then you get 5 attacks off against a 5-card hand. And it's random cards. They might have drawn a Sanji's Pilaf, a Nami, a Kai, or whatever, where it's just so good for us. So that's the way I recommend doing it, but that way ended up working out as well. Okay, next game, we got a game versus Blackbeard. All right, so this game against Blackbeard, let's go full screen, volume is off, let's put the speed on 2x, and here we go. So, Blackbeard is going to come down, like this matchup I think will come down to, if you're running the 2-cost Blackbeard, I think this matchup becomes very, very manageable then, like very, not easy, but much easier. However, I still think it's winnable even without it. And I think you guys are going to see what I'm saying in this game, because one thing that the Blackbeard character does is it takes cards from your hand. So it's basically negating your draw for the turn so that you can cheat a card out for a little bit cheaper. Okay, so they're going to swing, or they're going to play out the Lafitte, and let's see what they do here. They're already trashing cards from the top of their, from their hand to stop my leader effect on turn 2. And I'm not saying that's a bad play either, but hey, we're going to play out a 6K body, your turn. 5 and a 2, yep, you can have that since I'm not going to get on play effects anymore in this game anyway. You can have the little 1-cost 2K. That's fine with me. He plays out a Shigan Finger Pistol, trashes an Ice Age from his hand to get rid of my effects for the turn. Not a big deal. We'll swing in for 6, and I think we're just going to keep playing out the biggest body we can at a time. And the Boa is actually pretty decent here because we can stop one of his attacks for free unless he invests on. We're going to take that hit, because we do want to start filling this board out very quickly, right? He's going to play out a Van Augur. He's probably going to trash a card from his hand now to turn off my leader effect, or to turn off my on-play effects, of course. We're going to swing for 7. We cheat that out. We knew what it was from Perona, because remember, guys, we had that all set in that way because we knew we weren't drawing no cards this game. Okay, swinging in for 6 here. Swinging, you know, we swung for 7, swung for 6. I did it in the opposite way, but oh well. But my board is starting to get very strong. And I'm not just going to let him have these cards. I don't know what just happened, but I see a Doc Q in his trash. I don't know how that got there, and I don't know why it's there. What just happened? Hang on a second, guys. We're going back. When did that Doc Q get in his trash? I have to know. Okay, so let me hit play. So right here, so I just swung for 7. Now I'm swinging for 6. He gives me a Lafitte and Doc Q. Okay, so I would consider that a slight play mistake. I don't think that was right. You have a Van Augur on the board already, and you have to make sure my characters are KO'd. You can't risk like attacking into them and hoping they're KO'd. They must go, right? They have to go. So maybe he has a 4-cost removal card in hand. I don't know. So he does a top 5 search there with Lafitte. And let's see what they do now. They have 5 cards in hand, but remember, they're about to play out another card for the turn, and they're going to have to worry about you know, trashing a card into turn with their leader's effect. Let's see what they do here. And I have a decent amount of counter in hand, guys. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I have 9K counter in hand. He thought he was going to get a card for free there. It was not going to happen. That 3 Dawn could have easily been like a Van Augur plus Doc Q. Okay, they did have the Doc Q, to be fair. So they did have it. They removed the wrong character, that's for sure. Like, get rid of the bigger bodies, guys. Watch this. Oh, a Perfume Femur. Excellent. We'll take the Perfume Femur, and this turn we will do everything in our power to get you to 0 life. He has 3 cards, so we're going to go 8, 9, 9. Okay. 8, 9, and now 9 more. And he can only get out of 1 more of these attacks, and guess what that means? This guy probably has it figured out. This guy probably has it figured out already, like, uh-oh, that means he probably has the event, the, you know, Perfume Femur. That I have it on the screen right there. It's gone now, but that is a game-winning card versus Blackbeard, guys. Rush him down early. Maybe ignore the board if you can set up this opportunity, because the game's over now. He has one card in hand. I could just swing for 7. It's over. Okay, I could have just played that, but we'll attach 2 more. We'll swing for 9 for good measure. Revealing we'll even reveal the top card, another Perfume Femur. Okay, but GG, that was a fun one. Guys, that card is so good at closing out games. The Perfume Femur is. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're playing your matchups. But against Blackbeard, we already know the answer. It's like how Black Yellow Luffy was. We know the answer to Blackbeard. You know, against Black Yellow Luffy, you don't attack early. Against Blackbeard, you go as wide as you can. You fill out the board as much as you can. Okay, we got one more game, guys. That was against Blackbeard. Now we got one against Red Purple Luffy. Okay, here we go. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go, guys. We're off to the races. We're going to start off with a buggy this time because we do need to set our top cards. I'm going to probably put out, I'm trying to see how I want to do that. I'm going to draw a 2K counter for the turn, and then I'm going to play out the 4-cost Trafalgar Law, bouncing the buggy back to my hand. There was probably an argument to bounce the 4-cost back to my hand as well, but hey, if he wants to attack into that, then it worked as a 2K counter. Because remember, his leader's 6K. Okay? He does not want to attack into it, guys. See that? He does not want to attack into it. So here we go. I do take that hit. I get a pudding. We're going to probably just attack in here. We're going to swing 6, swing, and then just keep bashing in. I think we're going to go Jinbei into Boa, attach a Dawn to the leader, and set my top cards, and then I can swing in for 6 as well. Jinbei into Boa, set the cards the way I want them. I probably should just do it like that. We'll draw I probably should have drawn the Sengoku for the turn since I already have a pudding, and then I can cheat out the 4-cost Trafalgar Law on this next turn here if I need to. Let's see what he does. He's going to load up for 2 and swing 8 into, okay, I think he could have swung for 8 into 5, but I think he messed that up. He chose the wrong target to copy off of. Okay, now he's going to swing for 7 into what? He needs to go into my Trafalgar Law, but I still am probably going to counter out. Because, guys, do not give Red Purple Luffy the board. If you can help it. If you can help it, do not give him the board. Okay, 5 into 1. He's not saving that, I promise. There's no way he's going to be able to save that card. He's thinking about something. I don't know what. But here we go. Play out the... oh, very nice. We're going to play out the card there. And we're going to load up 3. We're going to swing 8 into 7, and we're going to cheat out the Jinbei, and we're going to cheat out the Gecko on top or over one of these, probably over the Jinbei, and then we can just grab the Jinbei back if we need to, or a 2K counter. We grab the 2K counter. Okay, so he 2Ks out of that. His turn. My board is completely full now, but he does have 9 Dawn to play with this turn. We'll see what happens. He might have 10 Dawn, actually. I feel like he has 10 Dawn, but I could be wrong. Like, I just think he hasn't used this leader effect yet. Okay, so 7 into 5, dropping down the power of one of my Boas, I believe. Yep, drops down the power of my Boa. I'm just going to let it go. Please attack into me so I can draw more cards. Because my hand size is getting very low now as well. So he did have the 1 extra Dawn he was playing with there. He's going to swing in for 9. We're going to take that, and then he's going to swing in for 9 more. We'll probably... we're going to take that too. Actually, we don't have much counter power in hand. Not a big deal. So right here, I can completely take the board. His board is gone. He is not saving this board, right? So here we go, 6 into 6. By all means, save it if you want to or try to. But you only have 2 cards in hand, and I still have a lot of attacks left. Okay, 6 more into 6. Lets it go. And now I think what we're going to do is 3. So at first I was going to do 9 from my leader, which would have been 4 Dawn invested. But I think I go 3 into it with my Boa first. And that way I have 4 Dawn left. I can do what I want from there. Okay, we're going to play out just a Gecko this turn maybe. Yeah, I think we're just going to play out Gecko. We'll grab a 2K counter. And I probably could attack with Boa there if I wanted. But hey, if he has the 10 cost, why risk it? So he looks for it with the Nami, and he finds the 9 cost. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, because that card's actually insane in this situation. That 9 cost Luffy in this situation is actually so good. It's actually so good. It's much better than the 10 cost right now because he can't even play that, right? But hey, with the 9 cost here, so he's going to swing 6. I know what he's going to do, obviously. He's going to swing in there. We'll just give him a 2K to get out of that. And now he's going to swing in for 10. And I might go super aggressive here and try to get out of this. But I don't think I can, actually, the more I think about it. Because I only have a 2-1-1. Oh, nice. Swings at life. Excellent. Excellent, guys. We'll take that because we do have a Gum Gum Red Rock in hand, right? Okay, well, here we go. Time to start attacking face. And we do have 2 blockers. How nice is that, guys? Okay. Okay, he did some... Oh, he did a Gum Gum Giant there. We're going to swing in for 6 more. We're going to swing in for 6. We're just eating this hand up, guys. His hand is completely gone. And watch this, swing in for 6 more. And you guessed it, we're going to Gravity Blade, or not Gravity Blade, we're going to Red Rock that card off the board. Your turn. I've got a decent amount of counter power, nothing crazy, but I do have 7k in hand in counter power, and I have 2 blockers and 1 life. So I feel like I'm fine into the 10 cost play here if he even has it. I feel like I should be fine. And if he wants to start going for my board, I'm fine with that as well, because look how fast I can redo the board. Okay, so he's going to go 8 and 10, it looks like, or maybe 8 and 9, and then sit on 1 Dawn. So right here, I think I should take it. I think I should take it, because even if he has a Diable Jambe, what does it matter to me? So he's coming in for 9 here. We're blocking him a double 2k, 2k, and 2k. And here we go, guys. So he's got 1 Dawn active. It is time to just start swinging. I'm just going to hit this guy for the most annoying numbers ever. I think I hit him for nothing but 7s here. Just like swing. No, this one's a 6. Let's see what it gets me. It gets me a 6k attack. Just got me a Gum Gum Giant, guys. A 6k attack. So now it's like, okay, here we go. We're going to go 7s here on out. It's going to be all 7s from here on out. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. 7. And 1 might be an 8 at the end. So let's see if he can get out of this. These require 2k counters. We'll swing in for 6 to get one of the cards out of his hand. We'll swing in for 6 more to get another card out of his hand. And then it was going to be swinging for 9. I think I should have gone 6, 6, 10. Oh, I can only go 6, 6, 9. Okay. Or no, that's right. I could have gone 6, 6, 10 if I needed to. But hey, it worked. We got there. Good stuff. The best way to deal with Blackbeard and Red Purple Luffy, go as wide as you can, guys. That's the name of the game with this deck anyway, right? All right, let's go ahead and check out the deck list one more time. We'll wrap this up in that way, guys. So here we go. This is the list. Like I said, here's the leader in there. I just removed that so you guys can see everything on 2 lines. This is a very strong deck, guys. It's absolutely top tier. If this isn't the strongest deck in the format, it's in the conversation of like in that top echelons. You know, this is one of the top dogs of the format for sure. Okay. All right, we're done, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I might have forgotten. If I missed something, guys, help me out in the comment section below. Let's just but let's just please be nice, guys. Let's please be respectful. And yeah. Oh, any revisions I might make? Like I said, I would like to go up to Martial D teachers. Only 2. Like I think if I were to make revisions, I would drop 1 Gecko, 1 Jozu, and then go up 2 of the Teach. Like that's probably the only revisions I think I would make. I would consider going down a red rock as well. Maybe that would clear up room for something else. We'll have to see. You know, maybe even for more 2k counters, because I am only running 10 2k counters in this list, but the other, 3 that I had, the other 3 that I had, quote unquote, was from the Gecko Moria, being able to recycle those if needed. So it is what it is. But here you go, guys. This is the list. This is what I was running. It was a lot of fun. I think it's very strong. Guys, Doffy is an absolute beast right now. So if you like Doffy, now's the time to hop in on this, guys. It's time to hop in on this deck. If it's like if it's a leader you really, or if it's a character you really like in the anime or the manga or whatever, now's a good time to start playing Doffy, because he's an absolute beast right now, guys. An absolute beast. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Let me go ahead and put up the playmat page. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, you're helping me out. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Big shout out to everybody over here on the VV Pirates Playmat supporter page. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel the way you do, for supporting the channel in the way that you did. And I hope you're enjoying your playmats. And then last but not least, with the patrons here, guys, thank you so much to everybody on here. I really appreciate you just helping out in any way you can, literally trying to keep the dream alive. Really appreciate it. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Until next time, guys. Peace.